All right, my construction entrepreneurs. So we want to get into other sectors of work, right? And I think we tend to complicate this whole, different sectors of work and why we won't get into it and things like that. So let's go over that real quick. We're gonna go over the difference between residential, commercial, and public works. Okay, because that's what we kind of have out there, right? And then public works deals with state and federal, right? State and the feds, right? So when we look at this here, we so let's start with this one: commercial and public works. So when you look at commercial and public works, the main difference between commercial and public works, and I'm gonna tell you this, is a pay scale. On commercial, you could just use your regular rates. Okay? On public works, you have a set standard of rates. Okay? You have to go on the DIR and find out which classification of trade that person is doing, and you have to pay them accordingly. Like there's pays for carpenter, there's different pays for plumbers, there's different pays for laborers, there's different pay for equipment operators, truck drivers, and those sorts of things, right? And you will find those pay rates there on the DIR. So the difference between these two is only a pay structure. Now, a lot of people say, "What? What do you mean that's the only difference?" I've always wanted to get into commercial. I always wanted to get into public works, but I never wanted to because I thought it was complicated. Well, call me Simple Jones. I'm going to break this thing down for you. Okay. So let's say we have a building. Okay. Right. That's grass right there. So we have a building, right? And this building has 2 floors. Okay? First floor, second floor. Okay? Now, let's say this building is housing 2 different companies. So on the first floor, it's the city of Temecula, right? Close where I live. City of Temecula on the first floor. But on the second floor of this building, let's say it's a financial institution, right? Say, I don't know, call them Blackburn, right? We'll call them Blackburn. Financial institution, right? So when, let's say, the head guy here of operations says, hey, let's change around this office. So let's go ahead and remodel. Let's go get some tenant improvement done. So let's put this work that we want to do out to bid. So the city of Temecula for this first floor puts this work out to bid. Because they're the city of Temecula, they fall under prevailing wages. So when they put this job out to bid, it falls under prevailing wages. Okay? Now, the CEO for Blackburn says, you know what? Tim downstairs with the city of Temecula is making their office look nice. I think it's time for us to make our office look nice too. So it says, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and put out a bid. Now, because this is a private firm, they're not associated with the state, the feds, government, nothing like that. They put out their bid for regular rates. Same building, same type of walls, same drywall, same electrical, same everything, same paint, right? Now the city may go with smooth walls, but they may go with smooth walls too. They may go with texture walls. The city may go with texture walls in certain areas, smooth walls in other areas. Same building, different agencies. That's all it is. Okay? So, in commercial and public works, in commercial, you can find the same type of walls in public works because public works is commercial. It's just under a different set of standards. That's all it is. Okay? Now let's jump to residential. We got that under control, right? All we do is need to understand what to properly charge for this. Okay? And then they have certain, just like commercial, they have certain specs that you need to follow for this type of work. Okay? What to actually use, right? You can't do on residential. Residential don't have that. Residential is like, okay, hey, this is what we want done, and then they expect you to use the best product. Okay? On commercial and most commercial and all of public works, they tell you what to use, from the caulking to the drywall to the to the mud on the walls to the paint. They tell you what to use. So you have to go and use that product or equal. Okay? And that's how that works. Now in residential, right? Let's look at residential. What does residential have in common with commercial and public works? Right? They have in common, it's the same type of construction. Some residential walls have 6x walls, 2x6x walls. Right? Some commercial have 2x6x walls. Public works have 2x6x walls. They have 2x4x walls, 2x4x walls, 2x4x walls. Some places have 6x walls, right? Oh, I said 6x walls, right? I don't know, 4x3 walls here. A 4x3. It could be a 4x3 here too. 4x3 here too. It's all on the structural. The structural for the building. What they will require. They all have drywall. They all have concrete. They all have painting. The same work you're doing over here. The only thing changed when you get to commercial and public works is that now you have specs. Now you have some guidelines to follow on as to what to actually do. On residential, you're a bit, trying to figure it out your own, using what you feel is best and price-wise. Okay? Sometimes customers tell you what to use, right? But they won't get down to the nitty-gritty on what to use, like the certain caulking, sometimes you get to color caulk, but these two would tell you what type of caulking to use, okay? What type of door casing to use, what type of window to use. They would what type of gaskets to use for different type of mechanical instruments or things like that. So there's no real difference between residential, commercial, and public works. So why aren't you doing it? My construction entrepreneurs, we got a class coming up. This is how you estimate class. I will be advertising on that class, the estimation system. Okay? With this class, basically we're going to teach you, if you know your trade, we're going to teach you how to estimate. And you're going to learn by the estimation system. I teach estimating to tradesmen by the order of construction estimation. Long as you understand your trade and you know the order of construction, how things are laid out for any particular job, I can teach you how to estimate. And you can learn how to estimate with my system. Guaranteed. My construction entrepreneurs, make sure you click down below, sign up for that class. Hustle hard, then hustle harder. Catch you on the next one.